My sister wants me to forgive her and give her children an aunt, but does she really deserve it? 7 years ago, I was 10 weeks pregnant when I lost the baby. The cramps started at work, and by the time I got to the hospital, I already knew something was wrong. That same night they confirmed it. I had lost the baby. My husband didn't come to the hospital. He sent me a text saying he had a work emergency and would see me at home. I got home at 2 in the morning, exhausted and with my heart in pieces. And I found them both in our bed, my sister and my husband. They were awake when I walked in. Neither of them rushed to cover up or explain. My sister just stayed there, pulling the sheets up to cover herself, and my husband said, "We need to talk about this like adults." I didn't scream. I didn't cry. I grabbed my phone, took a picture of them in my bed, and left. I stayed in a motel that night. The next morning I called a lawyer. 3 days later, they both showed up at my work trying to apologize. My sister said it just happened and that she never meant to hurt me. My husband said we could go to therapy and try to fix it. I told them I wanted a divorce and that I didn't want anything from him. Not the house, not the car, not a single piece of furniture. I just wanted out. 2 weeks later, my mom called to tell me my sister was pregnant. I hung up on her. My parents kept trying to get me to be reasonable. They said the baby wasn't to blame for being born into that situation and that I should think about what was best for the family. I told them that family had died the night I walked into my bedroom. I cut contact with everyone. My sister married my ex-husband 6 months after the divorce was finalized. They had the baby. Then they had 2 more. For years, my parents sent me pictures of the children. I never opened them. They invited me to birthdays and holidays. I never responded. 3 years ago, I moved 2 hours away and started from scratch. I met someone in a coffee shop. He was kind, funny, and had a huge, loving family. We got married 2 years ago, and his family welcomed me as if I had always been there. His sister has 4 kids, and they call me Aunt. We go to the park, we bake cookies, we watch movies. I love those kids more than I ever imagined. I finally felt like I had a family again. And then, 3 months ago, my sister called me at work. I didn't recognize the number, so I answered. "Hello." Silence. Then a sob. "It's me," my sister's voice said. I hadn't heard that voice in 7 years. My first instinct was to hang up. My finger was already on the red button. "Wait, please. It's about Mateo." Mateo, her oldest son, the one born 6 months after my divorce was finalized. The baby they celebrated while I was rebuilding my life from zero. "I'm not interested." "He's sick, very sick. Call a doctor." I already did. "He needs a bone marrow transplant." The doctors checked the family records. "You're a match." I stood still. People in the office walked past me laughing, talking about their weekend plans. Everything seemed distant. "Did you hear me? You're the only match. We need you to get tested, please." "No." "What did I say?" "Find someone else." "There is no one else. We've already checked the whole family. Mom, Dad, me, his siblings, no one else is a match. It's you or nobody." "Then it's nobody." I hung up. My hand was shaking. Not from fear but from rage. After 7 years of silence, after birthday pictures I never opened, after invitations I never answered, now she was calling because she needed me. The phone rang again. I blocked the number. 2 minutes later, my office extension rang. "Laura from reception speaking. There's a woman here who says she's your mother. She insists on seeing you." I closed my eyes. "Tell her I'm not here." I already told her that. "She says she's going to stay in the lobby until you come out." I looked at the clock. It was 2 in the afternoon. I finished at 6. "Let her wait then." I hung up. I tried to focus on work, but the words on the screen made no sense. 3 Laura called again. "Your mother is still here. Now she's crying. The clients are uncomfortable." I grabbed my purse and went downstairs. My mother was sitting on one of the lobby couches with a handkerchief in her hand. When she saw me, she stood up immediately. "Daughter, thank you for coming down. We need to talk about outside." We went out onto the street. It was hot. My mother looked older than I remembered. Her hair was completely gray. "Your sister called you, I know." And I told her no. My mother grabbed my arm. Her grip was weak. "He's a child. An innocent child who is not to blame for what happened between you. I know perfectly well whose fault it is. Please put your pride aside. Put everything aside. I'm just asking you to get tested. If you're not a match, we won't insist anymore. They already said I'm a match. The doctors said there's an 80% probability based on old records, but they need to confirm it with new tests. I looked at my mother from 7 years ago. She had told me I was being dramatic, that the baby I had lost wasn't a big deal because I was only 10 weeks along, that I should forgive my sister because family is the most important thing. Where were you when I lost my baby? My mother looked down. That was different. Different how? My baby was innocent too. But no one supported me, no one came to the hospital, you didn't even call to ask how I was. We were processing the situation with your sister. And you were celebrating. I saw the pictures on Facebook before I blocked you all. Toasts, hugs, smiles. My mother wiped her eyes. We made mistakes. I know, but this isn't about us. It's about a 7-year-old boy who did nothing wrong. Exactly. He did nothing wrong, just like I did nothing wrong 7 years ago, and yet I was punished. We didn't punish you. We just wanted to keep the peace to avoid a scandal. Well, you succeeded. Now live with it. I started walking back to the building entrance. My mother followed me. If you won't do it for your sister, do it for me. I'm your mother. I stopped. A mother doesn't force her daughter to attend the wedding of the man who betrayed her. A mother doesn't send pictures of the traitor's children as if nothing happened. A mother doesn't tell me to get over the drama. When I lost my baby the same day, I discovered the infidelity. I was a bad mother, I admit it. But give me a chance to fix it. I don't want you to fix it. I want you to leave me alone. I walked into the building. This time I didn't look back. That night at home I told my husband everything. He listened in silence, preparing dinner while I talked. When I finished, he served the plates and sat across from me. What do you want to do? Do nothing. Continue with our lives. Okay, that's it. You're not going to tell me I should help? No, it's your decision. I support you no matter what you choose. We ate in silence for a few minutes. Then he spoke again. But I am going to tell you something. Not because I think you should do the donation, but because I know you. What? You're going to think about that boy every night before you go to sleep. Every time you see my sister's kids, you're going to wonder if you did the right thing. I did do the right thing, I know that. But you're still going to wonder. He was right. That night I couldn't sleep. I thought about Mateo, a boy I had never met. A boy who carried the blood of the woman who betrayed me, but also carried my blood. At 3 in the morning, my husband woke up and found me staring at the ceiling. Do you want us to go get you tested? What for? I already know I'm a match. So you can decide with complete information, not with assumptions. If I'm a match, they're going to pressure me to donate. Probably, but at least you'll know exactly what they're asking and you can set your conditions. I looked at him in the darkness. Conditions. If you're going to save that boy's life, let it be on your terms, not theirs. 2 weeks passed. My mother called 5 more times. I blocked her new number each time. My sister sent an email to my work. I deleted it without reading. My father, who hadn't spoken to me in 7 years, showed up outside my house on a Saturday morning. I saw him from the living room window. He looked lost, pacing back and forth in front of the door. Finally, he sat on the curb. My husband went out to talk to him. I don't know what he said, but my father left after 10 minutes. When my husband came back, he just said, I gave him your new cell number. If he wants to talk to you, he can call you like an adult. That afternoon my father called. I'm not going to beg. I'm not going to tell you you're a bad person if you don't help. I just want you to know something. What? Your mother is sick. She has a weak heart. The doctor says the stress of this situation is making everything worse. She can't take much more. That's not my problem. I know, but if she dies, you're going to live with that, and I know you don't want more regrets. He hung up before I could answer. That night, I finally made a decision. I told my husband, I'm going to get tested, but if I'm a match, I'm going to set conditions. Conditions that will probably make them angry. Like what? Like them signing legal documents waiving any right to future contact. Like them returning all the money my mother owes me from my grandmother's inheritance. Like them publicly acknowledging what they did to me. My husband smiled. Now you sound like the woman I married. On Monday I went to the hospital. They ran the tests. They said the results would be ready in a week. 7 days later they called me. Ma'am, the results are ready. You're a 100% match. In fact, it's the best match we've seen in years. I hung up and sat at my desk. 100%. Not 80%, 100. That boy would live or die depending on me. I grabbed my phone and wrote a text to my sister. I'm a match. But if you want my help, there are conditions. Meet me tomorrow at 6 p.m. at the coffee shop across from the hospital. Alone. If you bring anyone else, I'm leaving. Her reply came in seconds. I'll be there. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I didn't respond. That night, my husband and I drafted a list of conditions. Some were practical, others were emotional. All were non-negotiable. The next day, I arrived at the coffee shop 15 minutes late. My sister was already there, sitting at a table in the back. She looked terrible, thin, with deep dark circles under her eyes, her hair dull. I sat across from her without a greeting. She tried to take my hand. Pulled it away. Thank you for coming. I didn't come for you. I came for me because I need to do this on my terms. I took a folder out of my bag and placed it on the table. What's this? These are my conditions. If you accept all of them, I'll do the donation. If you reject even one, I'm leaving and you'll never hear from me again. My sister opened the folder. Her hands trembled as she read. When she finished, she looked up. Some of these are extreme. Take it or leave it. I need to talk to Mom and... No. This decision is yours. If you need permission from others to agree, then you don't really agree. My sister closed the folder. Give me a day to think about it. You have 1 hour. I'm going for a walk in the park. When I come back, I want your answer. I stood up and left the coffee shop. My heart was pounding, but I felt more powerful than I had in years. I returned exactly 1 hour later. My sister was still sitting in the same spot. I accept all the conditions. Good. Sign here. She signed every page without reading them again. When she was done, I put the documents away and finally looked her in the eye. Now tell me one thing, and I want the truth. Did you ever feel guilty for what you did? My sister started to cry. Every day. Good. Because I felt pain every day for 7 years. Now it's your turn to carry something. I stood up and walked out of the coffee shop. I had taken the first step, but this was just the beginning. The documents my sister signed included 10 conditions. The first was simple. She and my ex-husband could not contact me throughout the entire medical process. The second, neither could my parents. The third, they would pay for all additional medical expenses, not me. The fourth, after the donation, I would have 6 months of recovery without any contact from them. The fifth was the most important. After my recovery, if I decided not to have a relationship with them, they would respect that decision without public drama. The other 5 were financial and legal. My mother owed me money from my grandmother's inheritance, which she never gave me. I wanted that money returned with interest. I also wanted a notarized document where they publicly acknowledged that they had treated me unfairly. My sister agreed to everything too quickly. That worried me. 2 days later, my mother showed up at my door. She rang the doorbell at 7 in the morning. My husband answered the door while I was making coffee in the kitchen. My wife signed an agreement. You can't be here. I need to talk to her. Just 5 minutes. No. It's her mother and she's an adult who set clear boundaries. If you don't respect them now, how can we trust you'll respect them later? I heard my mother crying on the porch. My husband calmly closed the door, came to the kitchen and hugged me from behind. Are you okay? Yes. Thank you for not letting her in. Always. That afternoon, my mother-in-law came to visit. She knew the whole story. From the beginning, I had told her everything that happened 7 years ago. She never judged me. She never told me I should forgive or get over anything. We sat in the living room with tea. She took my hand. How are you feeling about all this? Confused, angry, guilty. Guilt is normal. But remember something. That boy isn't sick because of you. And if you decide to help him, it's not because you owe it to your sister. It's because you choose to. My mother says an innocent child shouldn't pay for the mistakes of adults. Your mother is right about that. But it's also true that you were an innocent child who paid for her mistakes. Nobody defended you then. So, you think I'm being cruel? I think you're being human. And I think setting conditions isn't cruelty, it's protection. My mother-in-law stayed all afternoon. When she left, I felt calmer. The following week, the medical preparations began. I had to go to the hospital 3 times for more tests. Each time there was a risk of running into my sister or my ex-husband. The hospital assigned separate schedules to avoid it, but on the 3rd visit, while I was waiting in the lounge, my ex-husband walked in. He saw me and stopped in his tracks. You shouldn't be here. It's my appointment. I know, but I needed to see you. I'm going to call security. Wait just a minute, please. I said nothing. He sat 2 chairs away from me. Thank you for doing this. For Mateo. I'm not doing it for you. I know. But still. Thank you. We sat in silence. Then he spoke again. Are you happy? Yes. I'm glad. Really. I know I have no right to say this, but I always wanted you to be happy. No, you didn't. If you had wanted that, you wouldn't have done what you did. I made a terrible mistake. It wasn't a mistake. It was a choice. You had many opportunities to choose differently. In each one, you chose the easy way. You're right. I stood up when my name was called. Before going into the exam room, I turned back. Don't break the rules of the agreement again. Next time I cancel everything. He nodded. He looked old, tired. I felt nothing seeing him like that. The doctors explained the procedure. It would be a bone marrow extraction from my hip, general anesthesia, a 2-hour surgery, an initial week of recovery, possible pain for several months. There are minimal risks, but they exist. Infection, excessive bleeding, reaction to anesthesia. Very rare, but possible. And if I don't do it, how long does the boy have? The doctor looked at me seriously. Without a transplant, 6 months, maybe less. I signed the consent forms. The surgery was scheduled for 3 weeks later. That night, my husband made my favorite dinner. We ate in silence. Then he asked, do you want me to invite my family to be here during your recovery, so you're not alone if I have to work? Yes, I'd like that. My sister already said she can stay for the whole week, and Mom will come every day to cook. Your family is amazing. They're your family too. He was right. For 7 years, my husband's family had given me everything my own family denied me. Unconditional love, unquestioning support, total acceptance. 2 weeks before the surgery, I received an email from my father. The subject line said, important information. I opened it with my husband by my side. The email was short. My father wrote that he had investigated the family finances after I mentioned my grandmother's inheritance. He discovered that my mother not only owed me money, but she had also taken money from my sister's accounts and his own. Thousands of dollars spent on what? Nobody knew. Your mother stole money from the whole family apparently, and nobody knew. My father just found out. I called my father. He answered on the first ring. Did you read the email? Yes. How much money from your inheritance? $50,000. From your sister's accounts? $30,000. From my accounts? $20,000. Possibly more. I'm still checking. What did she spend it on? I don't know. She refuses to tell me. She just says it was necessary. And now what? Now I'm considering a divorce. That surprised me. My parents have been married for 40 years. For the money, for the lies, for constantly choosing your sister over everyone else, for manipulating situations to get her way. I'm tired. Does she know you called me? No. And don't tell her. I need to finish investigating first. We hung up. My husband looked at me. Your family is more complicated than I thought. You're telling me. Another week passed. My mother tried to contact me 6 more times. My father stopped her each time. My sister respected the agreement and didn't seek me out. 3 days before the surgery, my mother-in-law organized a family dinner. All of my husband's siblings, their partners, the kids, 20 people in total. I felt overwhelmed by the affection. My husband's sister, Patricia, sat next to me after dinner. Nervous about the surgery? A little. It's normal. But you're going to be fine, and we'll take care of you afterward. You won't be alone for a second. Thank you. You know what I admire most about you? What? That you set boundaries. A lot of women would have given in to family pressure. You didn't. That takes strength. Her words hit me deeply because she was right. For the first time in my life, I was putting my needs first, and it felt good. Terrifying, but good. The night before the surgery, I couldn't sleep. My husband couldn't either. We stayed up talking about everything and nothing. What if something goes wrong? It won't go wrong. But if it does? Then we face that together. Like everything else. I love you. I love you too. At 5 in the morning we got up. The hospital was 40 minutes away. We arrived at 6. A nurse took me to get ready. As I put on the hospital gown, I thought about Matteo. A boy I had never seen, a boy who was dying, a boy I could save. My sister had accepted all my conditions. Too easily. As if she knew something I didn't. The nurse put in my 4. The anesthesiologist came in to explain the process. My husband held my hand. See you on the other side. See you. They wheeled me to the operating room. The lights were bright, cold. I counted backward from 10. 7, everything went black. I woke up in the recovery room. Everything hurt. My husband was sitting by the bed, holding my hand. How do you feel? Like I was hit by a truck. The nurse says that's normal. The pain will last for a few days. How long was I in surgery? 2.5 hours. Everything went well. They have the marrow. They transplanted it to Matteo an hour ago. I closed my eyes. It was done. There was no going back. Did anyone from my family try to come in? Your mother 3 times. Security removed her. Your sister sent flowers. I threw them in the trash. Good. Patricia came into the room with a thermos of soup. I brought chicken broth. The doctor says you can have liquids. She helped me sit up. Every movement was agony. My hip throbbed as if it were on fire. How long do I have to stay here? 2 days. Then you go home to recover. I want to go now. Don't be silly. You need to be observed. Patricia was right. I stayed. The next 2 days were a blur of pain, medication, and visits from my husband's family. My mother-in-law came every morning. My husband's brothers took turns in the afternoons. My nieces and nephews brought me drawings. No one from my biological family was allowed to visit. The orders were clear. On the 3rd day I was discharged. My husband took me home in a wheelchair. Patricia had prepared the bedroom with extra pillows and a table with all my medications organized. You're staying in bed for a week, no arguments. I need to work. I already spoke to your boss. You have 3 weeks of medical leave. I resigned myself to it. The first few days were awful. The pain wasn't getting better. I couldn't walk without help. I couldn't shower alone. My husband had to do everything. On the 5th day after the surgery, my father called. I know I'm not supposed to contact you, but you need to know something. What? Matteo rejected the transplant. His body is attacking the new marrow. The world stopped. What does that mean? It means they're trying treatments to prevent rejection, but it's not working. The doctors say he has a 50% chance of survival. I did all this for nothing. You don't know that yet. He could get better. But I thought you should know. How's my sister? Devastated. She hasn't left the hospital in 5 days. Your mother is with her. And you. I'm investigating where the money your mother stole went. Did you find anything? Yes. And when you're better, we need to talk. He hung up. I told my husband everything. If the boy dies after everything you went through, I don't want to think about that right now. But I couldn't stop thinking. I had risked my health. I had opened old wounds. I had set difficult conditions, and maybe it was all for nothing. A week passed. My father called again. Matteo is getting better. The rejection is stopping. The doctors are optimistic. I felt a relief I didn't expect. It wasn't for my sister. It was for the boy, an innocent child who didn't deserve to die. I'm glad. Is there something else? Can I come to your house? I need to show you something. What is it? Evidence about your mother. I gave him my address. He came that afternoon with a box full of papers. My husband and I sat with him in the living room. My father looked thinner, older. I found where the money went. He opened the box and took out bank statements, dozens of them. Your mother spent almost all of it on your sister. Clothes, furniture, trips, private school for the kids. All without consulting me. She spent my inheritance on my sister. And hers and mine. When I confronted her, she said your sister needed it more than you because she has children. And my ex-husband? He wasn't making money. That's another problem. Your ex-husband lost his job 2 years ago. He's been unemployed ever since. Your sister works part-time, but it's not enough. Your mother has been supporting them with stolen money. Exactly. My husband leaned forward. What are you going to do about it? I've already hired a lawyer. I'm going to file for divorce, and I'm going to get back every cent I can. Then I'm going to give you what's yours. I don't need the money. But it's yours. Your grandmother left it for you, not for your sister. My father took out more papers, photos, emails. I also discovered something else. Something you need to know. What? Your sister knew your ex-husband was going to ask for a divorce. They planned it together for months. Your losing the baby wasn't a coincidence in timing. They waited for you to be vulnerable. I felt sick. How do you know that? I found emails between your mother and your sister from 7 years ago, all talking about how they could finally be together when you were out of the way. My husband took my hand. Your mother knew? She didn't just know. She helped plan everything. She even suggested they wait until something bad happened to you, so it would seem more natural. They waited for me to lose my baby. Yes. I wanted to throw up, to scream, to break something. But I just sat there, processing the information. Why are you telling me this now? Because you signed an agreement where you said that after your recovery, you would decide if you wanted contact with them. You need to know the full truth before you decide. I can't let you decide based on lies. Do they know you found all this? I wasn't planning on telling them, but I decided you should know first. I thanked him. My father left an hour later, leaving me the box of evidence. That night, my husband and I read every document, every email, every bank statement. The betrayal was deeper than I had ever imagined. They planned to destroy you. Yes. What are you going to do? I don't know yet. 3 weeks passed. My physical recovery was slow but steady. The pain subsided. I could walk without help. I could go back to work. Mateo survived. The transplant worked. My father sent me a picture of the boy smiling in his hospital bed. I felt nothing when I saw the photo. Not joy, not sadness, just emptiness. My sister tried to contact me when the agreed-upon period of silence ended. She sent a text. Mateo is doing well. Thanks to you. Can we talk? I didn't reply. A week later, my mother showed up at my work again. This time, she didn't stay in the lobby. She came straight up to my office. We need to talk. We have nothing to talk about. Your father is divorcing me. He says I stole money, that I plan to destroy you. They're all lies. They're not lies. I saw the evidence. He manipulated those documents. He's trying to turn you against me. You already turned me against you 7 years ago. Dad just showed me the truth. You can't believe those things. I'm your mother. Everything I did was for the good of the family. The good of what family? The one that excluded me? The one that stole my inheritance? The one that planned my destruction? My mother sat in the chair across from my desk. I made mistakes, but it wasn't planned. Things just happened. No, things don't just happen. You planned them. You waited for the perfect moment. You used me. If you hate us so much, why did you save Mateo? Because a child shouldn't pay for the sins of adults. Something you told me once, but apparently, it only applies when it's convenient for you. My mother stood up. You're going to regret this, turning your back on your family. You're not my family anymore. You signed an agreement. 6 months of no contact after the recovery. It's only been 3 weeks. Leave before I call security. My mother walked out of the office. I didn't look back. That night I told my husband everything. You're trembling. I'm furious. I know. But you handled the situation well. When does this end? When you decide it ends. He was right. This story would end when I decided it would. And I hadn't decided how yet. 2 months after the surgery, my father finalized the divorce. My mother tried to fight it, but the evidence was overwhelming. Besides, she had signed papers years ago giving my father control of the main finances. She never read them, she just signed. My father got his money back, then he got mine from the inheritance with interest. He showed up at my house one Saturday with a check. This is yours. Your grandmother wanted you to have it. Thank you. There's something else. Your sister and your ex are having serious financial problems. They lost the house. They're moving into a small apartment. Not my problem. I know, but your mother promised them money. Money she no longer has because I took it. They're furious. Good. My father sat on the couch. He looked tired but lighter. How are you? Better every day. I mean emotionally. Still angry, but no longer destroyed. That's good. Anger keeps you strong. Sadness weakens you. You're angry. Every day. But also relieved. I spent 40 years with someone who never respected me. Now I'm free. What will you do now? Travel, Red. Maybe meet someone new. I'm 65, but I'm not dead. I laughed. It was the first time I had laughed about anything related to my family in 7 years. My father left after an hour. He left his new phone number. If you need anything, call me. I don't live with your mother anymore. I'm in an apartment near downtown. I can visit you whenever you want. That night, my husband and I discussed what to do with the inheritance money. We could invest it or pay off the house. Or I could donate it. Donate $50,000? To an organization that supports women who have lost pregnancies, or for single mothers. Something that would have helped someone like me 7 years ago. My husband looked at me for a long time. That's perfect. Do it. I researched organizations for a week. I found one that helped women who had lost pregnancies and had no family support. I donated it all. When my mother found out, she called me hysterical. You gave away your inheritance. You're crazy. It was my money. I did what I wanted with it. You could have helped us. Your sister needs that money. My sister needs to get a full-time job, and so does my ex. He's looking for a job. He's been looking for 2 years. Maybe if he stopped being so picky, he'd find something. You can't be so cruel. They have 3 children. And I had a dead baby and a destroyed marriage. Nobody helped me then. You were always selfish. No. I was always the one who put up with everything. I'm not putting up with it anymore. I hung up. I blocked her number again. A week later, my sister showed up at my work, this time with Mateo. The boy was 7 years old, thin, pale, but alive. He was wearing a hat because his hair hadn't fully grown back yet. Mateo wanted to meet you. He wanted to thank you. The boy looked at me with big eyes. My mom says you saved my life. I didn't know what to say. I looked at my sister. This is manipulation. No, it's the truth. He deserves to meet the person who gave him a second chance. I didn't do this for acknowledgement or gratitude. I did it because it was the right thing to do. I know, but he still wants to thank you. Mateo took a step forward and held out a handmade card. I made it myself. It had a drawing of us two. I took the card. The drawing showed 2 stick figures holding hands. One said Mateo, and the other said Aunt. Thank you, Mateo. It's very nice. Kaniukio. I looked at my sister. Her eyes were filled with tears. This was exactly what she wanted, to use the child to soften me. No, Mateo. But thank you for the card. The boy looked confused. My sister took his hand. Come on, sweetie. We're leaving now. Why doesn't she want a hug, Mom? Because she's busy. Let's go. They left. I stood in the hallway of my office holding the card. My coworkers looked at me with curiosity. I went back to my desk. I put the card in a drawer. I wasn't going to throw it away, but I wasn't going to display it either. That night, I told my husband what happened. How did you feel seeing the boy? Strange. He's innocent, but he's also the symbol of everything I lost. Do you think your sister brought him on purpose? I know she did. She never does anything without a plan. Did it work? No. I felt sad for the boy, but it doesn't change anything with her. My husband hugged me. It's okay to feel conflicting things. You can be happy the boy is alive and still be angry with your sister. He was right. Both things could be true at the same time. A month later, my sister lost her job. My ex-husband couldn't find anything either. My father told me they were borrowing money from all the relatives. Did they ask you? Yes. I told them no. What did they say? That it was my obligation to help because Mateo is alive thanks to you. I donated marrow. I didn't sign a lifetime support contract. That's what I told them. How are the kids? Fine. Your sister is taking good care of them despite the money problems. They're selling things, asking for help at churches. They'll find stability eventually, probably. But it's going to be hard. I didn't feel guilty about it. I also went through hard times after the divorce. Nobody helped me. I survived. They would survive too. 2 weeks later, I received a certified letter. It was from a lawyer. My sister was suing me for family care compensation. I immediately called my husband. He contacted our lawyer. We met the next day. What grounds are they suing on? They claim that because you donated marrow, you have a partial responsibility for the child's well-being. That's ridiculous. I signed documents waiving any future responsibility. I know. Those documents are solid. This lawsuit won't go anywhere. Then why did they file it? Pressure. They want you to feel guilty and give them money so they'll drop the suit. I'm not giving them anything. Good. Then we'll go to court. The case was scheduled for 3 months later. During that time, my sister tried to contact me several times, always through Mateo. Pictures of the boy with messages, videos of him asking for help, drawings, letters. Every time I received something, I sent it to my lawyer as evidence of manipulation. This is going to help our case. They're using the child as an emotional tool. Can the judge see that? Absolutely. And they won't like it. My father was also pressured. My mother asked him to convince me to help. I told her she's crazy if she thinks I'm going to ask you for anything after everything they did to you. Thank you. Are you nervous about the trial? No. I'm ready. For the first time in 7 years, I'm going to have the chance to tell the whole truth in front of a judge, with evidence, without anyone interrupting me or telling me I'm exaggerating. They're going to try to paint you as the villain. Let them try. I have emails, bank statements, medical documents, witnesses. The truth is on my side. That's what matters. The trial date was approaching, and I was ready to finally close this chapter of my life on my terms. On the day of the trial, I arrived at the courthouse an hour early. My husband, my mother-in-law, and Patricia came with me. My lawyer was already waiting outside the courtroom. Ready. More than ever. Remember, stay calm. No matter what they say, don't react emotionally. Let the evidence speak. We entered the courtroom. My sister was already sitting on the other side with her lawyer. My ex-husband was next to her. My mother was in the pews behind them. I didn't look at them. I sat next to my lawyer and organized my documents. The judge entered. We all rose. Case number 1847, Delgado versus Morales. Lawsuit for family care compensation. Are both parties present? Yes, Your Honor. Plaintiff may proceed. My sister's lawyer stood up. Your Honor, my client is here because the defendant has a moral and legal obligation to support the minor, Mateo Delgado. The defendant donated bone marrow, thus creating a direct biological link that carries responsibility. Financial responsibility for an organ donation? Explain. The donation was not anonymous. It was within a family context. The defendant knew the child was her nephew. By agreeing to help, she implicitly accepted a role in his life. My lawyer stood up. Objection. There is no legal precedent establishing financial responsibility for organ donation. Furthermore, there are signed documents explicitly waiving any future obligation. Do you have these documents? Yes, Your Honor. My lawyer presented the papers my sister had signed. The judge read them in silence. These documents are quite clear. Why are we here then? My sister's lawyer cleared his throat. Those documents were signed under emotional duress. My client was desperate to save her son. She would have signed anything. Do you have proof of coercion? The situation itself was coercive. A dying child. That is not legal coercion. Anything else? Your Honor, the defendant has significant financial resources. My client is living in poverty. The child's well-being is at risk. The judge looked at me for the first time. Does the defendant wish to testify? My lawyer nodded. I stood up. Your Honor, I donated marrow because a child was dying. Not because I wanted to be part of their lives. I established clear conditions which the plaintiff accepted. If she now wants to break that agreement, that is her problem, not mine. Why did you set such strict conditions? Because 7 years ago, my sister and my ex-husband had an affair while I was pregnant. I lost my baby the same day I discovered their infidelity. Neither of them came to the hospital. My family abandoned me. They excluded me from family events for years, and now they only seek me out because they need money. The judge raised an eyebrow. Those are serious accusations. I have evidence. My lawyer presented the photos I took 7 years ago, the emails between my mother and sister planning the situation, the bank statement showing the theft of my inheritance. The judge reviewed every document. His expression grew more serious with each page. Does the plaintiff wish to respond to this? My sister stood up. She was crying. I made terrible mistakes. I admit it. But my son shouldn't have to pay for them. Your son is not paying for anything. He is alive thanks to the defendant. What more do you want? We need help. We have no money for food, for rent. And the child's father? Where is he? My ex-husband stood. I am here, Your Honor. I have been looking for work for 2 years. I haven't found anything. Nothing in 2 years? You're a professional. I'm an engineer. And you haven't found work as an engineer in 2 years. Have you considered other jobs in the meantime? My ex-husband didn't answer. Have you worked in retail, restaurants, construction? Those jobs are beneath my education level. The judge took off his glasses. Sir, your son needs to eat. There are no jobs beneath that. Next question. The plaintiff works part-time in a store. Why not full-time? Because someone has to take care of the children. And you who are unemployed cannot care for them? Silence. The judge sighed. I see. Does the plaintiff have anything else to present? My sister's lawyer presented the photos and videos of Mateo, the drawings, the letters. As you can see, the child has an emotional bond with the defendant. Separating him from her is causing psychological harm. Has the defendant been in contact with the child? No, Your Honor. That's why we're here. Then there can be no emotional bond if there is no contact. Are you using the child to manipulate the defendant? No, Your Honor. We just want. I know what you want. Money. Correct. We want what's best for the child. What's best for the child is for his parents to work and stop using his illness as an excuse not to be responsible. The judge looked at my lawyer. Does the defense have anything further to present? Only to highlight that my client donated $50,000 of her inheritance to a charitable organization. She is not a selfish person. She simply set healthy boundaries with a family that betrayed her. I understand perfectly. The judge closed the folder. We all left the courtroom. My sister tried to approach me. My husband stood between us. No. You've said enough in court. I just want to explain. There's nothing to explain. It's all documented. My mother came over. Are you happy now? Destroying your own family. You destroyed yourselves. I just stopped cleaning up the mess. Patricia took my arm. Let's go outside. You need some air. We stepped out of the building. I took a deep breath. My husband hugged me. You did well. Very well. Do you think the judge will rule in my favor? I'm sure of it. The evidence is clear. We returned after 15 minutes. The judge was already in his place. I have reviewed all the evidence. This case is quite clear. The plaintiff voluntarily entered into a legal agreement. There is no evidence of coercion. There is no legal precedent to compel an organ donor to pay support. Furthermore, The evidence shows a pattern of manipulation and emotional abuse towards the defendant by her family. My sister began to cry harder. Therefore, I am dismissing this case. The plaintiff is ordered to pay all court costs. In addition, I am issuing a temporary restraining order. The plaintiff and her family are prohibited from contacting the defendant for 6 months. If they do so, they will face contempt of court charges. 6 months? She's my sister. She was your sister. Until you decided to betray her. The defendant has a right to peace and privacy. Case closed. The sound of the gavel echoed in the room. My sister collapsed in her chair. My ex-husband held her. My mother shouted something about injustice. I just picked up my purse and walked out. Outside the courthouse, Patricia hugged me. It's over. It's over. My mother-in-law had tears in her eyes. I am so proud of you. So proud. That night we celebrated at home. Nothing extravagant, just a quiet dinner with my husband and his family. The people who loved me unconditionally. My father called that night. I heard what happened. The judge made the right decision. How is my sister? Devastated. But maybe now she'll understand that actions have consequences. And you? Relieved. It's finally over. Almost. There's still one chapter left. Which one? The one I write. Not the one they forced me to live. I hung up and curled up next to my husband on the couch. For the first time in 7 years, I felt like I could breathe fully. The war was over and I had won. Not because I destroyed my family, but because I finally freed myself from them. 3 years after the trial, my life was completely different. My husband and I bought a bigger house. I got a promotion at work. I was earning double what I did before. Patricia and I opened a business together on the weekends, a small cafe that was doing better than expected. And I was pregnant with twin girls. The doctor had confirmed the pregnancy 4 months earlier. My husband cried with happiness. My mother-in-law threw a gender reveal party with the whole family. 40 people celebrating, pink balloons, cakes, gifts. No one from my biological family was invited. No one asked about them. My father was the only exception. I saw him once a month for lunch. We never talked about my mother or my sister, only about his new life. He had met someone, a widow his age. They seemed happy together. Are you going to invite me when the babies are born? Yes, but only you. And your girlfriend if you want to bring her. Understood. Your mother asks about you. I'm not interested. I know. I just thought you should know. How's my sister? Better. She finally got a full-time job. Your ex did too, in a warehouse. It's not engineering, but it pays the bills. I'm glad for the kids. Mateo asks about you sometimes. He's 8 now, right? 9. He's healthy. Strong. Thanks to you. It wasn't for them. I know. But it changed everything anyway. We finished lunch. My father paid the bill. Before he left, he gave me an envelope. What's this? Pictures of the ultrasound babies you posted. I printed them. I hope you don't mind. I don't mind. I'm going to be a grandfather to twins. Even if it's a long-distance grandfather. Not long distance. Just with boundaries. It's more than I deserve. He left. I put the envelope in my purse. That afternoon I went to the supermarket. I needed things for the house. I was in the baby products aisle when I saw her. My sister was thinner with shorter hair, simple clothes. She was pushing a cart with her 3 children. Mateo was the oldest. The other 2 were younger. She saw me at the same time. She froze. I didn't say anything. I kept looking at the things I needed. She approached slowly. Hi. Hi. You look good. Are you pregnant? Yes. How far along? 6 months. Congratulations. Thanks. An awkward silence. Mateo recognized me. Are you the lady from the picture? What picture? Mom has a picture of you in her room. She says you're important. My sister turned red. Mateo, go find the cereal you like. The boy left with his siblings. My sister looked at me. The 6 months of the restraining order ended a long time ago, but we respected your space. Good. How are you? Good. Very good. I'm glad. Did you really find a job? Yes, in an office. Administrative assistant. It doesn't pay much, but it's stable. And he's working in a warehouse. Night shifts. It's hard, but we're surviving. Good. My sister took a deep breath. I know you probably don't want to hear this, but I need to say it. I'm sorry for everything. For the betrayal, for using Mateo, for the lawsuit. It was all horrible. Yes, it was. Will you ever be able to forgive me? I don't know. Maybe. But forgiving doesn't mean forgetting, or being family again. I understand. How's Mom? Alone. Bitter. She moved into a small apartment. I barely see her. Why? Because she blames me for everything. She says if I hadn't had the affair, none of this would have happened. She's right. But I don't want to hear it all the time. Mateo came back with a box of cereal. Mom, can we get cookies too? Not today, sweetie. Maybe next week. I saw the cart. It had the basics. Nothing extra, no luxuries. Are you doing okay financially? We're okay. Tight but okay. We're not in debt anymore. That's what's important. I'm glad. I paid for my things and started to leave. My sister called out. Can I ask you something? Depends on what it is. When your babies are born, could you send a picture to Dad so Mateo can see them? He doesn't have to know they're my nieces. I'd just like him to know they exist. I send pictures to Dad regularly. He can do what he wants with them. Thank you. It's not for you. It's because the children are not to blame. I know. I left the supermarket. In the parking lot, I sat in my car for 10 minutes processing. I didn't feel triumphant seeing her. I didn't feel sadness either. Just indifference, like seeing a stranger I once knew. That night I told my husband. How did you feel? Nothing. I felt nothing. Is that good or bad? Good, I think. It means I've finally let her go. Are you going to keep in contact? No. But if we run into each other in a public place, I'll be cordial. Nothing more. And your daughters? Are you going to tell them about your biological family? When they're older, I'll tell them the truth. That family isn't just about blood. It's about who loves and supports you unconditionally. 2 months later, the twins were born. Elena and Sophia. Healthy, perfect. My mother-in-law was there for the birth. Patricia, too. My husband cut the umbilical cords. My father came to the hospital the next day with flowers. They're beautiful. Thank you. Can I hold them? Of course. I let him hold Elena first, then Sophia. He cried a little. I don't deserve this. After everything that happened, you're right, you don't. But they deserve to know their grandfather. As long as you respect the boundaries. Always. My father visited once a month. He brought small gifts, nothing extravagant. He respected our rules. 6 months after the birth, we threw a big party, the twins' baptism. 50 guests. All of my husband's family, friends, co-workers. My father came alone. His girlfriend couldn't make it because she was sick. During the party, someone asked, "Where's your mom?" I don't have a relationship with her. Oh, I'm sorry. Don't be. I have everything I need right here. And it was true. Looking around the garden, seeing my daughters surrounded by love, seeing my husband laughing with his brothers, seeing my mother-in-law organizing games for the kids, I realized something. I had won. Not because my sister was struggling financially, not because my mother was alone, not because my ex-husband worked a job he hated. I won because I built a beautiful life without them. I won because I chose peace over revenge. I won because my daughters would never know the pain of being the second choice in their own family. That night, after everyone had gone home, my husband and I sat on the porch. The twins were sleeping inside. Happy. Completely. Do you miss anything from your old life? No. Nothing. Not even a little. I miss the person I could have been if none of that had happened, but I like who I am now more. And if your sister shows up in 10 years asking for forgiveness again, I'll tell her the same thing. That forgiveness isn't reconciliation. That I hope she's happy but far away from me. My husband kissed me. I love you. I love you too. A month later I received a letter. It was from my mother. I didn't open it. I put it in a drawer with all the other letters she had sent over 3 years. 22 unopened letters. My husband asked me why I kept them if I was never going to read them. Because someday my daughters are going to ask about my family. And I'm going to show them these letters and explain that love isn't about insisting. Love is about respecting. And that their grandmother never learned the difference. The years passed. The twins grew. My father continued his monthly visits. My sister and I would occasionally see each other in public places. Always cordial, never close. My mother died when the twins were 5. I went to the funeral. I sat in the back. I didn't cry. I didn't speak to anyone. I left before it was over. My sister tried to approach me after the funeral. Can we just? No. But Mom died. Doesn't that change anything? No. She died as she lived, without admitting her mistakes. She left a letter for you. I don't want it. Please, I walked away. I never read that letter. Years later, when the twins were 10, Elena asked, "Why do we never see Mom's family?" I told them the whole story. The complete truth without sugarcoating anything. When I finished, Sophia said, "So they're not our family. They are my biological family, but not my real family. You guys are my real family. You are the best thing that ever happened to me." Elena hugged me. "We love you too, Mom." That night, watching my daughters sleep, I understood the final lesson. The best revenge was never to destroy those who hurt me. It was to build a happiness so solid that they could never touch it.